Indriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahma upanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakarot anirakaranamastva nirakaraname astu tadatmaniyateya upanishadsu dharmaste mai santu te mai santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
So we have not yet answered all the questions. So who had question? Okay, Sajali had a question, which is a very good question. Her question was that can you use the term awareness, which is Sat and Chit, and Ishvara interchangeably? No. Why not?
Relationship is of Satya and Vidya between awareness, Brahman and Ishvara.
Okay, so in this answer we have to be very careful because, as Rashmi very rightly said, see, suppose you say, it's very important, these are things which are very important. The semantics makes all the difference in understanding. Suppose at the end of understanding Vedanta, suppose you say, I am awareness, and Ishvara is all knowledge and all power and it's Vidya, you become bigger than disaster.
From flowchart, Maya is there in between.
How does that happen? That is cute. Wonderful. Okay. That's sweet. Okay. Right. So that means the conclusion cannot be, see, at the end of study of the Vedanta, you can't conclude that what? I'm bigger than Ishvara. The whole thing is, please understand, because when I create a flow chart like that, there is an inherent problem. What is an inherent problem? It seems as though exactly, there is a linear connection. When we talk about Satya-Mithya relationship, what you do need to understand is what? Take right? What I can say. Wherever there is Mithya, that's exactly, that has to be Satya. The very fact that you say that it has a dependent reality, it means that that on which it depends is very much there, right? So there are no two separate things. There is no one thing called Satyam and the other one is called Mithya. This is what we call ontological terms. Is this the ontological terms? Ontological terms. Ontological terms, what it means is you understand the order of reality of things, right? So therefore, if your mind is creating that, hey, there is this awareness and then there is this potential which is like, linear, which is coming down, then that is not a healthy, which is not the right image, right? So that means that wherever there is Mithya, that's exactly where there is Satya. Now, the potential, which is all knowledge and all power, that doesn't have the ignorance that there is this awareness, right, which has the potential to manifest, and that potential includes what? Knowledge and power. But where are you down the line? Your one of the entities, and that doesn't know the reality. You take yourself to be one little individual. So the whole teaching is from whom? The one who knows. And who is the one who knows? Ishvara. Ishvara knows that my true nature, Ishvara is not confused. What Ishvara knows that the true nature is awareness. And that awareness has a potential, right? And then as a result of that potential there is a manifestation, which is all the different names and forms. Okay? So therefore, the knowledge rests on Sarvajnaha Sarvashaktiman. There is no ignorance of reality. Suppose you want to remove your ignorance, who do you go to? Awareness is, please understand, attributeless. It doesn't get engaged with anything. It is not going to come and knock on your door and say, hey, I'm here. Even though it is because of which you see everything. So that means you need an appropriate means of knowledge. You need Ishvara. You need an appropriate means of knowledge to remove ignorance. So that can come from the place where the knowledge rests. Do you remember the first class that we said, no knowledge is created. The knowledge is already there. What we do is only remove ignorance. Connect these things. Otherwise what will happen? That will remain there. This will remain here. Things don't get connected to create a coherent vision. So that means there is this all knowledge, which already has knowledge, from which, see, before the manifestation, the knowledge has to precede it. In any small thing, there is a Sanskrit logic which is called Ghatasya Karta Ghatajna. What? That before the Ghata, the pot comes into manifestation, the pot maker must have what? Knowledge. It is the knowledge which then comes into manifestation. Without knowledge you can't have manifestation of pot. Sarvasya Karta Sarvajna. If you are talking about that from which the entire universe, which includes time, space and objects, when it comes, it necessarily must have all knowledge.
Which is why we pray to Ishvara.
Exactly. Wonderful. So that means, wonderful. So the knowledge comes from Ishvara. Not only this knowledge, in fact every knowledge. We think that this is a different type of knowledge because here you are trying to understand the true nature of I, but every other knowledge, as I told you, the retina is already arranged. When you go to medical school and spend, as she said, 5.5 plus 3 plus 3, what are you accessing? Knowledge of Ishvara, which has already put together the I with which you see. Knowledge within knowledge, within knowledge, within knowledge. So please don't think that when you are studying biology, you are outside Ishvara. That's also knowledge. Manifestation of knowledge. Manifestation which makes your eyes what the eyes are. So much intricacies. So it's mind-boggling, the intricacies. Ask these doctors, the body, marvel at this. So that means the final source of knowledge, whether it is any other knowledge or Vedanta knowledge, is always Ishvara. You have come in this universe, which is what way before what quantum physics was discovered. Already what the atoms were creating, the permutations and combinations was creating all these varied objects. It was already there. It is the human mind which reached that reality. Human mind didn't create that reality. So how much knowledge is required? Suppose I give you some atoms, suppose, and tell, oh, put them together and create sun. This is what we mean by magnitude of all knowledge. Unfathomable.
So, and this knowledge is not like it's with a person, but that's the thing. It's just the whole field is all knowledge.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Like
This
personal
is
knowledge,
what.
I have to get the knowledge from him. It's like the knowledge is everywhere somehow.
See, one thing, see, Timur, if you recognize that something which is what as a potential and it manifests as everything, then where is the question of giving it what one entity, one location?
That's right, but it's just that when we speak of Ishvara and he has knowledge, it's
Yeah.
like you mean
So
he
that means-
has knowledge, that is there someone who has knowledge. So that's kind of
Yeah, so these are semantics, but this is why what we do in order to avoid, it's true. As I told you, every Vachyartha is going to have a problem. Any word I use, it will have its inherent problem, inherent limitation. So you can't keep going back to the meanings that it creates in you. You have to use the teaching to create the right meanings in your mind. You see what I mean? Because the language in itself has inherent limitation. You see what I mean? But if I define Ishvara as all knowledge and all power, then you can't give it an awareness which is all pervading. It has a potential to manifest. You can't keep one entity in mind because one entity implies time, space, and entities. Do you understand? So if you're really following these words and if your mind is creating the right meanings, even if the language is like that, you will go back to the correct meanings. You see what
that's
I mean?
But the actual meaning is like a field, like the whole field is knowledge.
Absolutely.
Like there's one place, like everywhere.
Absolutely. It's everywhere. Exactly.
There is only
Absolutely.
knowledge, you can say.
There is only knowledge. Actually, in reality, there is only knowledge.
That's for
Because
me.
the body is nothing but knowledge. Why knowledge?
Concepts, knowledge.
No, exactly. Because, why is it knowledge? See, interesting. I'm going from one topic to the other in order to answer all your questions. So that may get a little confusing. But one thing that you, let me come back to that a little bit later. I was answering whose question? Sajid's question. Okay, so please don't, before I have completed that, please don't intersect and ask me some other questions because then it goes all over the place. And, and in fact it can confuse a lot of people. So please have that discipline of let me finish that question and then let me go to other questions, right? Because for your clear understanding, I may understand how the connections are, but a lot of people may get confused in the process, okay? So now, this potential is something which is what we call, we can't use the same terminology, right? Because here it involves knowledge and power. And Satyam Jnanam Anantam, what have we said it is? Attribute free. Please keep it in mind. Because what will happen is, if you interchange the terminology, you get confused as to, you start, if Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma seems like exactly identical to Ishvara, you will call it what? You will say all knowledge rests on it, all power rests on it. So therefore, there are terminologies. So that means, as I told you, the potential is there, you have to acknowledge it, but you have to also understand the potential vis-a-vis the conscious, the awareness, which is independent of that potential, right? That potential is not inherent in, it is what we call Satyam-Mithya relationship, okay? That potential cannot exist without an entity, but entity is free from, inherently free from the potential. This is why it can, what? Being attribute free, it can manifest in form of Jagat, which is full of objects with different attributes. Do you understand? If the potential intervening thing was not there, it's logically impossible.
But you said that the potential, before the coffee break, you said that the potential is also in a constant state of flux.
Yes?
But how can something that has no attributes change all the time?
But the potential is
So One reason why you cannot confuse Satyam Jnanam Anantam with potential is that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma remains exactly as it is. Why? How do you know? Right now, when you go to your buddhi, and if I show you the awareness, it doesn't undergo change, while the entire universe undergoes change. So it is what we call, if awareness itself had changed to become the world, you will not find that awareness as self-evident light, which is right now with you, because of which you see all the changing forms. If itself had undergone change. So itself has not undergone any change, that's why you call it Kutastha Nityatva. Kutastha Nityatva means it itself never undergoes any change. But at the same time, you see in the world the things are constantly changing. And also from the potential to the manifest. So that is what we call Sarvajnaha Sarvashaktiman is what we call Pravaha Nityatva. Pravaha Nityatva means it's under a constant flux. Okay? So therefore, just to come back to your personal example, you are always there, right? You also have a potential, what with the reference to creating the dream. That potential manifests as dream, it again comes back, again it manifests as a dream, again it comes back. Here there are changes, in you there are no changes. You understand? So, now, so Pravaha Nityatvam refers to flux. Flux in two ways, please understand. From potential to manifest, and within manifest it is what? Constantly changing. So what it means is, suppose tomorrow is yet to manifest. Within the manifest Jagat itself there is a constant shift between manifest and unmanifest. The yesterday was manifest yesterday, but today it has become unmanifest. Now is manifest, 8 o'clock is unmanifest. 8 a.m. is today. 8 a.m. is unmanifest. The 5 p.m. today, no, the lunch, let's say, lunch that we are going to go. Is it manifest now or unmanifest? Unmanifest. But soon it will become manifest. So that means while there is manifestation, there is a constant interplay between manifest and unmanifest. That is what we call Pravaha Nityatva. Constant change is taking place. Right? But what we saw is, in this constant change, your self-evident I, it doesn't change, and that is awareness. What is that awareness? That is the Kutastha Nitya. That is that awareness which actually never undergoes a change. Do you understand? The doctor understood. Okay, good. So now, so therefore, when you use terminology, when you understand things, you have to be totally clear what you mean by what. And at the same time, you can't create different things, because these are all what? One, seen from different angles. Excellent. This is the trick of Vedanta, because there are no two. It's only one. But it has so many different things. It has Jiva, it has Ishvara, it has Maya, it has why? If it is only one, why? So that means you are, see, even if I show you that the whole universe collapses into just a concept, and if I show you that, hey, you are not the object, you are the awareness, in whose presence the universe collapses, you need to reconcile it all. How is it possible? How can the unchanging awareness, and if I tell you this entire changing universe is from this unchanging awareness, how? You need to give an answer. You can't just say, oh, because. Right? So then nobody is able to, the Swamini was saying, nobody is able to answer that question. So very conveniently they use the word Maya and they call it illusion. So therefore, they don't need to explain anything. And then, when you make one mistake, you make so many subsequent mistakes. Why? Because if the world is an illusion, you have to detach yourself from this illusion. So that means the whole attempt is just detaching rather than understanding Ishvara, understanding the laws, aligning with it, growing, praying to Ishvara so that the understanding can take place. You make one mistake, your Ishvara will go, so that means that the presence, the knowledge and power which is everywhere, your buddhi will not recognize. The growth, the necessity of growth to come out of pratibhasika, your buddhi will not recognize. The equation is ultimately what? You and Ishvara enjoy the same reality. What is that reality? That also is all. Just you will start floating, I am this awareness. And Ishvara, because of which you have the mind and body with which you can think, is skipped. Is this called knowledge? It's called floating in the air. So therefore, you have to, each step, it's an ingenious method. This, you can't find one logical problem with this. Because you do see variety, and I also show you one, and you have to reconcile. How? The reconciliation is very important. A logical reconciliation is very critical. So this is why, and so that means that one has somehow manifest as many without what intrinsically undergoing any change. This is the truth. And what accounts for this manifestation is the potential to manifest as many. And that manifestation is not just a random manifestation, it is knowledge, so much knowledge. Any object you take, any law you take, it's nothing but knowledge. So, what I want to show you is, suppose we say everything is nothing but atoms and particles. Particles, she asked me one day, there is a, after namakam, there is a chamakam. You know that, right? There is chamakam, and in that chamakam, the last two anuvata. The last two anuvata is eka chame, tisras chame, pancha chame. So what it means is you are 1, you are 2, you are 3, you are 5. She said, why all these numbers are given? For what? You are 1, you are 3, you are 5, you are 15, you are 13, you are this, you are that. Why? Because the entire universe that you see is nothing but what? Permutation and combination of these atoms. A given permutation and combination of atom will make animal body. The other permutation and combination will make it what? Human body. The other permutation and combination will make it into an insect body. And what? That permutation and combination which will give which manifestation is all knowledge. atoms and one oxygen atom come together and creates water, knowledge. And that water is something which is sustaining you and an elephant and a deer. Knowledge. Knowledge within knowledge within knowledge within knowledge, which gives appearance of forms, the multiplicity of forms, all arrangement. That's why either you can see forms or you can see Ishvara, the knowledge which makes every form what it is. The knowledge which makes my ear be ear and do its job of hearing the sound. The knowledge which what? Makes my eyes what they are, because of which they can engage in forms. The knowledge which makes my mind what it is, which gives it these four functions. That is Ishvara. Don't forget Ishvara. And that knowledge, what is for its true nature is what? The knowledge rests on awareness. Without awareness there is no knowledge. So the knowledge is the final reality. The final reality is awareness. Ishvara, all knowledge, is not confused about it, but you are confused. So the whole teaching is from where? Ishvara. The teaching is from Ishvara. You need Ishvara's grace to sit here and listen and what? Create the right understanding in your mind. You need Ishvara's grace. It's not something that, of course, you have to try, but it's not entirely up to you. And the final piece of Sudoku, where your mind is taken from images to the reality, that also requires grace of Ishvara. You have to pray. You have to try and you have to pray. Because whether you like it or not, you are within the knowledge and power. All knowledge and all power. You are not operating independent of it. Right? So this is why there is a distinction between, did you understand? Pravaha, Nityatvam and Bhutasam. Okay. Now, anybody else? Now, everything you may not understand, but don't worry about it. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Several questions.
I wrote it down.
Okay.
So, it was relating to what Charlotte asked about how from awareness comes the potential. And so can we say, if awareness is limitless, if it didn't have the potential, then it would become limited. So if there wasn't that potential.
No, you can't say that. What you can say is that the awareness is attributeless, right? But you can't deny your existence, your body, your mind. And you can't deny the existence of all the other bodies and mind. They all have attributes. So that means you are confronted with two phenomena. One phenomena is that awareness, you can't give any attribute to it. On the other hand, you see the universe full of attributes. How are you going to account for it? This universe is there, you can't deny it. How are you going to? There has to be a reconciliating factor. Do you understand that? Without that reconciliating factor, it doesn't make logical sense. Do you understand? So this is why what we say is, and you also find, I show you that this awareness is something which is not engaging, it is free from all attributes. At the same time, you see all these forms full of attributes. So there has to be an intervening potential which belongs to that awareness. But awareness is, what is the relationship between that potential and awareness? Awareness is independent of that potential, but without the potential, it cannot manifest as memory. answers that question. Do you understand? Not that without potential it will become not limitless. That's not the right logic. Is it clear? Yeah. Yeah. Andrew. Somebody else? Sorry, Swami had raised her hand. Go ahead.
My question is, I'm thinking about where nitya coming in there. So, is potential the same as nitya? Because I'm thinking nitya might be the cause for maya.
No.
Like not a cause, but the force behind maya or something like that.
No.
So.
No. That's not how we understand. See, these two are different things. We have to get the definitions right. Okay? Maya refers to the potential to manifest. And that potential, as you said, requires what? Knowledge and power. Sarva, that knowledge and power are required in the potential. Without which potential, you don't know what the meaning of potential is. Right? So, the potential includes what? Knowledge and power. But why do you say it is potential? Because it is not yet manifest. Okay? Now, what is the order of reality of that potential? Can any potential be hanging, which is all knowledge and all power, can it be hanging up in the air without the real entity? So, as I told you, first you have to exist before you can have potential to create it. Do you understand? So, there is an order there. You are first, then is your potential, then is your tree, and within the tree is then the person. You see? So, what we are doing is we are showing the order, right, and the sequence which reconciles everything. So, you can't say that the Maya is because of Mithya. That is not. The order of Maya is Mithya. Why? Because the power cannot exist, the potential cannot exist without awareness.
See, one thing, the word Mithya and Satyam, you have to come back again to the definition of what is it, Mithya and Satyam. Not the definition. They are words which just indicate your understanding of what is the being or the reality of something.
The order of reality.
Okay? What is your understanding of the reality of the table versus the reality of the wood, and what is the connection? Okay? So it means that Mithya is not a thing. Mithya qualifies your understanding in terms of reality of whatever. And Satyam equally. So these are just words, and then you can apply these words to analyze different things. Okay? This has to be, it's not an object Mithya. But an object can be called either Satyam or Mithya, depending upon how is it in terms of its being. That's it. Okay? Clear?
Somebody else had, lot of people had. Okay, Andre had. Did I answer your question? Andre, and then Dio. Yeah.
Neema, I'd like to bring the definition of Maya.
Yeah.
Could I say it means, quote, that which is not? The direct translation of Maya?
See, that doesn't give you any understanding.
But no, but that's what I'm asking. Is that the direct definition of Maya?
No, I would not say so, because that which is not, what does it convey to you?
So that's what I'm asking. Could you tie that into the...
Exactly. So see, let's not use the definitions which don't give any kind of understanding. The purpose of definition is what? To convey something, right? And not to confuse others. So let's stick to what we call, I will come to the real definition of Maya very soon, which will then actually concretize it.
Ma'am,
So
here we want just to understand awareness, potential, manifestation,
and within manifestation,
Jiva.
one entity.
Very good.
Excellent.
And we'll restrict here only because it's very difficult to understand.
Huh?
Very difficult to understand. No? Just now you told, so we'll restrict only to this.
So this is what actually, if you look at the whole universe, this is true. This is true. Right now, please understand, if you look at the universe right now, there is awareness which I am showing you, that because of which Shotrasya Shotram, Chakshushash Chakshuhu. So that means right now there is what? Right now there is awareness. Right now there is this all knowledge and all power which has given manifestation to your body and mind. Knowledge within knowledge within knowledge, which is what? Making your kidney what it is, making your liver what it is, which is making your kidney and liver coordinate together in order for the body to work as what? As one unit, intelligent unit. Right now, there is a potential. What is a potential? When my body becomes 70, it will not look the same. Potential within knowledge. The knowledge of what? How the body is going to change day by day by day by day to appear different at the age of 70. Potential. Right now, there is a potential. And right now, there are as though entities. There is nothing that I'm talking about doesn't exist now. I'm showing you the relationships. Don't create ideas. Vedanta is about here and now. Phenomena are there and we don't see it, we don't know how they are related. It is an ingenious method to explain everything that is here and now, that you can't make sense of. So that's why, don't think that we restrict here. This is a representation of the entire reality. There is nothing else. Is also here, exactly. There is a body which is changing, exactly. There is a mind which is changing. There is the universe which is constantly changing. And there is this awareness which doesn't change. It is also here. Now, a series of questions. Video. I'm so happy. Good. Ask questions. Wonderful.
So coming back to potential, the very existence of it doesn't make it an attribute of awareness. I mean, it has to be in regard with something, right? Potential.
So because it is Satya-Mithya relationship, therefore it doesn't make the attribute. So that means the potential cannot exist without awareness, but the potential is not sticking to awareness. Because if it was sticking to awareness, look at this. What would be the problem? There will be a huge problem.
Yeah.
Because that potential which is awareness itself will become the universe.
Yeah.
Then you will not find non-changing awareness. It is already undergone a change. But right now, I'm showing you that awareness because of which you are able to see everything. So that means this potential cannot, and also when you use your own example, suppose you yourself had the potential and you yourself became the dream, now then what will happen? The mountain will stick to you. So any way, suppose you postulate any other way, which is other than Vedanta, you will get into logical problems.
So relation between awareness and potential is Satya-Mithya relation.
Absolutely.
And here all answers come now.
Exactly. Absolutely. So it accounts for the manifest universe. It accounts for the non-changing reality. And it connects how? How is it possible? It is possible, like in this order. And whatever I say is here right now.
So looking from this perspective, like not from the awareness point of view, because that isn't even possible. Looking only from this perspective of the manifested universe, this potential exists, right?
Yeah, see, there are two things as I told you. Before the manifestation, there is a potential. But as I told you, in the manifest universe itself, you also see potential.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So tomorrow is a potential, which is going to come, and it is going to put together a lot of knowledge and power is required to bring tomorrow into manifestation. You see that?
You cannot really separate potential and kind of together.
Yeah, so wonderful. So I will, when we talk about Ishvara, that's wonderful. You can't really separate manifest from the unmanifest. Wonderful. So I will, the Upanishads talk about it. It's like also in different ways, and I will talk about it. Before let me answer all the questions, but that's correct.
The relationship like one the example given for Maya and the potential and the awareness, like the wave in an ocean, and yet water is water, whether it's in a wave form or water form, and yet it is two different, and yet it has a connection. The water is water, whether it's in wave form, whether it's in still form. So Maya could be just the wave, which again goes down to still. Can we keep that analogy?
No, in this example of wave, so what you are saying is that one wave which was unmanifest before will become manifest now, and then that wave will become unmanifest and will become manifest in the future, and the water remains water.
So till now we were confusing Ishvara and awareness, till now. Till today's class.
Till today's class. Wonderful. I'm so happy. Right? See, sorry, but you have potential to understand. And you need Ishvara's help to understand. I tell you. Otherwise you will be knowing on. So people tell me, right? So many people tell me. They say, I've studied Vedanta for 25 years. Wonderful. The only thing I don't understand is, what exactly is Brahman, what is Maya, what is... what Vedanta did you study? That is all, right? So this is... And we build one whole terminology and terms and everything with basic confusion. We don't understand what is what, and we build a huge sophisticated model on not understanding the basic. Then it seems that it gives a semblance, I know it all, because you hide behind technicalities and the jargons and the vocabulary, but there is no substance. Nobody understands, neither the teacher understands nor the students understand, but they all have to feel like, oh, they are studying something very important.
So there was, Swamiji told the story, there was a prof in, I don't remember from what area. From Berkeley, he came to visit him, and a prof, not a prof of finance or whatever, a prof of Indology or let's say Eastern religion. And he knew Vedanta very well, he had written so many books on Vedanta and so on. So he came to see Swamiji, and then he was telling Swamiji, and as Neema is saying, like big discussion and all the terminology, technicalities, and he knew Sanskrit and he could quote left and right and so on. So they were like discussing with Swamiji, Swamiji was like listening. And after a while, the prof asked a question to Swamiji. He says, see, all this I understand very well. But can you tell me exactly what is Satyam and what is Mithya? So, you are in good company.
Today's class is very, very basic and very nicely told.
And it's not basic, it's revealing the truth with a certain amount of clarity. Don't call it basic. Basic means it's like, you see what I mean? It is showing.
Fundamental, I understand.
Fundamental means that if you don't get this, no matter how much you study Vedanta, you will build on wrong understanding. Basic doesn't mean it's not like level 1 class. If you get all of this what I'm saying, you get the vision.
Possibly she meant foundation.
Foundation, means the rock of that song, rock of that song.
Yeah, in that way. If your knowledge, sophisticated knowledge is based on the wrong foundation, when will you get it? So happy.
We really appreciate to get you.
Both Ishvara seem to sense that,
Exactly. See, the thing is, exactly, so much is learned without foundation. Then there is what we call superficial scholarship. Okay, Vivek. Sorry, I saw his.
Just a small question about Maya and awareness, because I heard a lot and I was also thinking that sometimes there's a question
Little loudly.
Maya, sometimes there's this question, but why Maya and awareness? But why is Maya there? Why is awareness there? Not have this sometimes, but it seems to me now I realize that Vedanta is not about explaining that. It's what it's doing is it's kind of showing the reality of what is there and kind of putting it in order, but not saying why is it there. It's already there.
Right there, it's already there. Exactly. See, exactly. If you get into this, I tell you, you will go crazy. Because right now, there are forms. You start with that. Right now, there is an intelligence. Right now, there is manifest, unmanifest. Right now, I'm showing you there is awareness because of which you can see all of this. Now, what does Vedanta do? Shows you what is what and what is the relationship. Because it's right down there. You ask me, why is it there? It's there. Right? And now I'm showing you how it is all related. And what is ingenious. In fact, what I'm showing you is, actually, right now, when you're seeing many, in reality there is only one. That's all. Which has actually never undergone any change. It is kutastha. Right? Without undergoing any change, it appears as many. So, this is how it is. Right? So that means, if you really understood that one which has actually never become many, why question itself goes through? It has never become many.
Why doesn't have any answer?
No, it's a question which shows non-understanding. Because if you really understood that there is one non-changing reality, there is no second thing in the universe, and it appears as many, why? It loses its relevance. Doesn't apply, exactly. It becomes redundant. If you really get it.
You can say why one? It's one.
Exactly. Super. Why one? Hey, it's one. And that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, Vivek. Now he's taking us for lunch, so we have to be kind to him. Even though he somehow decided to outcast himself.
No, it's his anniversary, no?
Being honest, this is romanticism going on over here.
Yeah.
That's one question on this one.
Yes.
So are we saying the difference between, the awareness becomes Ishvara, or projects whatever the right term is, through the means of time and space? That's pretty much it. Because potential becomes manifest only through the interplay of space and time.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
it, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, Ishvara is the knowledge and power. It still remains the cause. Please don't think it is in time, right? It remains the cause from which what? Time, space and objects manifest. And in fact, when they manifest, what remains is only Ishvara. There are forms within forms within forms. But what you find is just the knowledge, the knowledge which organizes everything, which gives appearance of forms.
Ishvara is the cause and the manifestation.
Exactly. Ishvara is the cause as well as the manifestation. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, that's correct. Because there is no material other than this cause right? Because the universe is yet to come. So the cause itself becomes the material. It itself becomes the manifestation. That's why when you look into anything, you'll find only knowledge, which has the capacity to manifest as all these forms. Do you understand? Knowledge, we define. What is the definition? All knowledge and all power. Any other attribute you give, you'll get into trouble. Any other definition you give, you'll get into trouble. Suppose you call him all loving. Suppose. What will happen? The world has other things, right? Then love. So who created that? Then you'll have to create another entity. So that means you have to keep Ishvara as knowledge and power, which has the capacity to create permutations and combinations which give rise to forms which seem to have attributes.
But Ishvara
and when
doesn't
they
have
have those attributes, then what happens? They engage in the world in keeping with those attributes, and Ishvara as the intelligence gives them the result of those engagements. So Ishvara is also the laws which give what the results.
And the time is a law as well?
So the time is also manifestation of Ishvara. I will talk about it all in the next. We need to understand Ishvara a little bit better. I will talk about it. Ishvara as manifests as time, Ishvara manifests as space, Ishvara manifests as all the different objects. This is why, see, when you reduce the unit of time to the concept, but still there is what? Nanosecond, microsecond, second, minute, hour. That arrangement requires intelligence. So that is, it inheres, that is a manifest itself. Wow, okay, yeah.
Does it actually means everything is there at the same time? It's not like awareness becomes potential, potential becomes cause, cause becomes the individual.
Superb, wonderful, excellent. Right now, as I told you, you will see everything. Wonderful. What it means is, right now you see the form, right now you see the intelligence which makes the form what it is. Right now you see that there is a potential which makes this form change according to a certain knowledge. Right now you find awareness, which is none of these forms and itself is free from the attributes of all forms. Right now you find everything. Absolutely. Don't give it a chronological order also. It's true. And this is just as I told you, the presentation.
Understand.
But at the same time,
To understand.
To understand what all is going on.
No, this is taking place within oneself. Within oneself.
Yeah, right now, even here, absolutely. There is a form, Jiva, which is being. Then there is intelligence which makes every organ of mind what it is. Then there is, within the intelligence, there is a potential to make it different. And right now there is awareness, because of which I can see my body, I can see the order which my organs have, I can also understand that it will potentially change. This form will potentially change according to a certain order. Right now, even within every unit, it is present, equally present. All are equally present. This is ingenious. And what is the order? Vedanta makes you see.
This is happening around the universe.
Around the universe, whether you take one unit or you take anything, it is there. That's what it is.
This is what physics calls the multiverse. The multiverse. This idea that everything's happening simultaneously, past, present, future, all happening simultaneously in different levels, loka. It's the multiverse.
Yeah, it's wherever it is, there is time. Even though the unit of time is different, there is time. There is space which separates us from them. Then there are different entities. And then there is an order, the knowledge, which makes every entity, whether we know that entity or not, what it is. This is why the Taittiriya Upanishad verse, what I see here, that is also true for Aditya. Huh? Yeah, Samashti. That is also true for the sun. That order is heavy. All that is here is that. And it's very good. It's not necessarily chronological. Not necessarily. Everything is here now. This is why we call it knowledge, not belief. Belief means it is non-verifiable. But everything that you want to understand is, all the relationships, everything is all here and now. And it puts it all in order. And what applies to you also applies to everything. That's why this knowledge can be totally known. 100%. Without any confusion. Without any mixing up. Without creating any images. Clear.
There's never away from it, right?
You're never away from it. That's the main thing. Don't forget that. That awareness you're never away from. That's your true nature, within which all these different things are happening. Itself is free from it. Wonderful. That is your true nature. That is something which is available in your buddhi as self-evident life. This awareness. But you mix it up with one little body and mind, and you become so insignificantly small. And then you suffer. Okay? Now, what is the time? Oh, I'm looking at clock for once because we are all going for lunch. But let me go a little bit more into this. We saw Pravaha Nityatvam and we saw what Kutastha Nityatvam. But what I do want to know, I would like explain this Maya a little bit better. Okay? Yeah, use the, it's very good. Thank you. Okay, so now, initially we started with the term called potential, and Swamiji's question made us refine it a little bit more. And what did we add to this potential? What is the nature of this potential? All knowledge and all power, right? All knowledge in a potential form, right? And all power. Sarvajnaha and Sarvashakti. Now, this potential with this all knowledge and all power, this power is further divided. What kind of power? This is like analysis within analysis, right? What kind of power? So there is what we call two different kinds of power. One is called Vikshepa Shakti. This is what Sarva Shaktiman, Shakti. Shakti is power. What kind of power? Vikshepa Shakti and Avarana Shakti. What is Vikshepa Shakti? The power to manifest as time, space, and all the different objects. what we call in the modern times, what we call is Big Bang, right? I mean, what we call that from that singularity comes what? The entire universe all simultaneously, time, space and objects. Okay? Now, this is what we call Vikshepa Shakti. But in addition to that, there is one more Shakti working, and that is what we call Avarana Shakti. What is Avarana Shakti? It veils what the reality is. Suppose everything is nothing but all knowledge and all power, which itself is what? Nothing but awareness. And suppose every object knew this reality, what will happen? Huh? Then everybody knows, right? We are all walking around, all wise people know it all, that we are all just manifestation. But what happens is, while this manifestation comes, this reality that everything is awareness, and that awareness has potential, which is in form of all knowledge and all power, which is now manifesting as time, space and object is not known to us. So that means, what does this Avarana Shakti do? It veils, it covers. It veils this reality from us. So because there is a veil, so what is veil? Is Avarana. It is what? It covers the reality from us. Because there is a cover, each one of us, we live as one individual who is distinct from everybody else. We take me as only me, I see somebody else as somebody else, I miss the presence of Ishvara, I miss the presence of awareness. So therefore, there is Avarana. Avarana is Shakti of what? It's a Maya, or we can also call it Ishvara in manifest universe. But from our standpoint, it becomes what? Our standpoint, it becomes what? No?
Avidya.
Avidya. It becomes avidya. It becomes ignorance. So you were using the term ignorance, avidya. It is not applying to Ishvara. Ishvara, if Ishvara had avidya, imagine what will happen. Right? For Ishvara, it is a Shakti of Avarana, covering. But from our standpoint, it becomes ignorance. So because, and this is why, Ishvara is not under the spell of ignorance. Because if Ishvara was under the spell of ignorance, who will remove knowledge? We are doomed. Do you understand? So in Sarvajnaha, this knowledge is there. This knowledge of reality is not covered. But for us, the jiva, one individual, this reality is covered. So therefore, this avarana, which is a Shakti of Ishvara with reference to one individual, which is what we call jiva, it becomes ignorance. Ignorance of what? Nature, that all this is from Sarvajnaha Sarvashaktiman Ishvara, which itself is awareness, and right now I am awareness, and this form is a result of knowledge and power making that form what it is. The entire knowledge is covered for us, and it creates havoc in our lives.
Avidya and Avyasa, they go together actually.
Excellent. How? Can you understand? Very good. Yeah, very good.
Because to me, when something becomes manifest, then in the fact that it becomes a form, a thing, it loses sight of its true nature. And so the mix-up seems to be there.
What Christoph is saying is very interesting, and it's true. This is how Brahma Sutra begins. Actually, it's lovely. Before Brahma Sutra begins, there is a whole big section called Adhyasa Bhashya, and which explains what you are saying. What Christoph is saying is that suppose because we are under the way, right? That is working for us, and so therefore there is ignorance. And then that ignorance is already there, but we also come with a connection with one given body and mind. So that means now there are two things happening. We don't know the true nature of things. At the same time we come in connection with one body and mind. So this ignorance leads to adhyasa, which is what he's saying. Because this awareness is always there. Without awareness nothing can exist. But because of the ignorance of awareness, I create what? Adhyasa. Why? Because this connection I come with one given body and mind, which makes me mistake awareness with the form. Excellent. So that means these are all the causalities. From ignorance comes adhyasa. We mix up.
That means it's in the program built in adhyasa, and at the same time you have also the key.
Excellent. Wonderful. Right? In the program, exactly, because this cover is Ishvara Shakti. So therefore, everybody is born not knowing this reality. If you think I am born not knowing reality, thank God you are not the only one. In fact, everybody who is born not knowing the reality. Because as Yuta says, it's in the program. But if it was in the program and there was no potential to remove this ignorance, you will be doomed. You are in this thing and you have no idea. You are within avidya and you have no way to get out. But you are given the key. She uses the word, lovely word, the key. What she says, you are given the potential. So as a human being, if you don't use this potential and figure this out and you continue to live within adhyasa of what one little individual and search for your fulfillment, where will you go?
Body and
nowhere.
I was going to say samsara.
Yes, samsara. Okay. So that
maybe
means
that's a dangerous term also.
That's a danger. Okay, now if you use a Sanskrit term, what you have to do for me is to answer. I mean, give me a definition of what does samsara mean to you?
me,
No, it's correct. What?
It means that you stay stuck in this cycle of ignorance.
Excellent. Right? So what it means is you stay stuck in a given
form,
a given appearance which is actually not the reality. And all your transactions in the world continue to happen within the same paradigm. And actually Ishvara is very clever because it has the key, but how will it make you use the key?
Suffering.
Wonderful. So that means no matter what, you are programmed to look for fulfillment. You see what I mean? What you are searching for is not suffering. What you are searching for is fulfillment. And what will happen is, no matter how much success you get, but if it is within this adhyasa, what will keep eluding you is what? The fulfillment. And when one day you get little wiser and you are saying, actually what I want and what I am getting, there is no connection. Then what you begin to search for is what? The answer. When you begin to search for the answers, Ishvara is very happy. Wow, finally you are getting some key to the universe. Otherwise you are just going from one thing to the other endlessly.
But for this you don't need Shakti. Means if you have Shakti, that is Vikshep Shakti. And to cover the knowledge, you don't need Shakti. Absence of knowledge,
So that means the thing is, why, what we are asking is, why every form, if this is the reality, why is every form born not knowing this reality? So there is a Shakti, which not only for you it covers reality, also for me it covers reality. Universally, for everyone it covers reality. So therefore, but also there is a potential to undo it. And who has the key? Ishvara.
And it's only
That is how quantum has come.
Exactly. So what they say is, human and equivalent birth has that capacity to remove the ignorance and to know the whole thing. Because human beings have an advanced problem-solving mind. So that is what is required to figure out the mistake of this magnitude and to solve it, which is of a huge magnitude. Yes. So that's why they say Manushya Janma, the birth as a human being, is a highly privileged birth. Why is it highly privileged birth? Not because we are all having very good time, right? But because that in human birth you are given the mind which can get to this solution.
We are given key and they are
given the key. Exactly. Your key is always there, but you are given the mind which is equipped to use the key to free itself.
See, I understand it like potential is expressed and with the potential each and every jiva, so it can be an elephant or it can be the deer or dog. So for their existence, whatever knowledge and potential is necessary is given to them. Okay. Now for the humans, they are having more potential given to
the mind.
And to use the mind, to use the free will, whether I want to unveil this or just
stay within this.
Stay within this.
Superb. Wonderful. Right? Wonderful. This is absolutely correct. So if you want to stay within this, then again goodies are given. What? Artha, Kama and Dharma. Right? It's not like there also, right? You can buy a Mercedes Benz and you can buy a Rolls Royce, and within Adhyasa you can do so much. Right? Go for spa, go for a holiday, you can do everything within Adhyasa. Right? You are not like doomed in Adhyasa. This is why people keep going. You see what I mean?
That
very few
as a
people.
potential is always there.
Exactly. That's the thing. So that means you have to be clever enough to figure out that actually within this Adhyasa I can do a lot. I can become a CEO, I can do many things, right? But it still doesn't solve my problem. And only then what will happen is this potential which is given to you, which is to know this reality, your mind will start moving towards that potential. Lord Hanuman has come to bless us. Look at this little monkey. He's nicely sitting here.
No, it's my birthday.
Oh, look at him. Right here. Nicely sitting.
So our free will is a partial our free will is an illusion. We have a partial free will.
Partial. I mean, the definition of free will is not like you can do what you want. What it means is you have a faculty of choice.
It's eating the leaves of when we want to listen.
Exactly. This is why we say every other knowledge is given again. this knowledge is something about nature of mind which will take you out of the absolute.
Neema? Neema?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now this class is becoming multiple classes. Please keep quiet. Please keep quiet because it's become multiple classes. Okay. Anybody else who has now 2 questions? Yes.
It's not a question, I mean, it is a question.
Okay.
The same powers we also have as individuals, right? To project. And
Wonderful. So in fact, everything that is there at a macro level, you're also given as at a micro level, right? You also have the capacity to project, manifest, right? So for example, this manifestation power of ours, it has made the universe what it is. Suppose I grew up, yeah, in 60s, 70s, and I still remember that there was a one day of celebration in Bombay in 70s. What? TV has come. So that means that TV which was unmanifest, it was there as a potential. Human mind had a potential to bring it into manifestation. It collapsed that potential and brought TV. At that time, nobody had heard of computers, right? So that means we have the potential within using the knowledge of laws, right, of physics, of whatever. We also are given the potential to bring into manifestation. This is why, as I told you, that what the world keeps changing, it has to change. Why? Because human beings always collapse the potential. So now today, I think a few days ago, somebody was talking about that car, new car, Tesla. What is it called? Tesla car. So that means now it has functions that we had never imagined. This is what we call our own potential to bring into manifestation something which was not there. But in order to bring into manifestation things which were not there before, what we need to do is what? Work within the laws of Ishvara. You can't bypass Ishvara. You can understand and you can bring into manifestation which is there as potential. So that power is also given to us. The potential is also given to us. And you can use that potential also to what? Solve this, free yourself. So that potential can be used in so many different directions, right?
Is the power of veil, this pratibhasika? The veiling?
The veiling, if you see it from the standpoint of Ishvara Shakti, it is it pratibhasika? It can't be pratibhasika. It is equally true for all of us. So that means that is within Vyavaharika. But within that common veiling, which is we don't know our true nature, each one has a different story of who they are. That is pratibhasika. Do you understand? This is why one is Ishvara Srishti, the other one is Jiva Srishti.
So you can say Vikshepa as an individual level.
Yeah.
Can manifest in the form of projection. Not only manifesting and what is your potential, okay, and like an artist, he is manifesting several things, right? So this is Vikshepa, his own capacity to project things and make things, create things. But also the capacity what? To mistake one gesture or the nose of somebody as signifying, you're not good and you're mean, and creating stories.
That's
Projection at the psychological level. So this Vikshepa individual level can be what you say pratibhasika. This is like complicating and blurring the lines, okay? But you can interpret it that way. Okay? The word Vikshepa itself means projection.
Yeah, you can bring into manifestation something which is not there. So that either, as Surya says, you can bring into manifestation something which is not there, like IT which was not there, you can bring into manifestation, that would be within Vyavaharika. But something which is not there and you bring into manifestation, like Surya says, oh, he's awful and all that, that is pratibhasika. Both fall within Vikshepa at individual level. Yes.
Who stucks in the samskara? And which terms?
Sorry?
Who stucks in the samskara? Or samsara?
Good question. Who is stuck?
They are in some, oh yes.
In samsara?
If it's already the knowledge. So it's already
So that's why, you see, it's vague. So that means, right now there is Ishvara here. See, right now there is all knowledge which is making each organ of yours what it is. Right now there is a potential for your body to transform itself according to certain knowledge. It has to follow certain laws. Right now, right? So that right now there is this awareness because of which you can actually see the presence. But still, it's all there, but you still don't know. Do you see that? So that means that it is what we call Avarana Shakti. Avarana Shakti, which belongs to Ishvara. It's there, but you are not aware of it. But you are given the potential to figure it out.
So my subtle body is like stuck in the samsara.
So, okay, now what is stuck in samsara? That's a good question. What is, because the subtle body itself is a result of ignorance. So itself, right? So even after the subtle body goes, what survives is her question, right? So for that, we need to understand that this given body, there is a given framework given that you need to understand. There is a given framework, maybe we will do it tomorrow. It's 1 o'clock because there's too many things in one class, so you need to digest what I have said. Okay? Because otherwise it becomes just, already people are telling me it's information overload. So, but I will answer that question.